Studios. You're entering the eerie depths of Chokeslam Radio, where expert insider WWE knowledge and secrets are unleashed with thunderous power.
Rest in peace.
Coming to you live straight from the heart of Death Valley. Here are your mysterious hosts, DRW15 and DJ Big Unknown.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Chokeslam Radio. I'm DJ Big Unknown.
And I'm DRW15. Another awesome week from the WWE. Excited to get into it. No special guests this week, but we've got some good guests lined up in the future weeks. So stay tuned.
I know it's been a great past couple weeks with our recent guests. Last week, in case you missed it, you're going to want to run back the replay either on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. We interviewed the legendary wrestler 25 Cent, and we got a lot of great info out of him. And before that, we had Hoopify, an internet legend, on the show, giving us that insider information on the current climate in sports. So yeah, and this is just the beginning of Chokeslam Radio. We got a lot of great episodes to come. We got a great episode coming up tonight, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, Chokeslam Radio has been on a bit of a roll lately. DJ Big Unknown actually went to a WWE live event just a couple weeks ago, and we're looking to get more press passes and some exclusive information for you guys, because as we've talked about before, we always have the latest and greatest WWE news, and no better way to get it than to actually go to those events. So excited for that. Yeah,
I mean, I was very fortunate to go to the Raw before, or the Raw after SummerSlam, and this was an insane episode. I'd love to get into that, but we're also planning on covering some other events in combat sports outside of the WWE, because, even though WWE is kind of like where the elite fight, I know there's another place that like to call themselves elite, but we all know that WWE is where the best of the best are. So we're going to keep the main focus of the show on that. But we want to cover other areas of the sports world as well. So I'm very excited about that. I'm not going to go too much into that right now, though.
Yeah, let's get right into what you guys are all here for, which is the WWE. You want to talk about SmackDown first? What should we get into?
Oh, yeah. I mean, SmackDown, pretty much the only thing that there is to talk about is the Tribal Chief coming back and, giving everyone the SmackDown.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about it for a while that, SmackDown's been a little bit lacking lately. So Tribal Chief comes back and turns that around real quick. But I do think he's going to have to find some friends. I know 25 Cent definitely had some insights last week on who he thinks is going to team up with Roman. But all I know is that it's going to be tough for him to face that whole bloodline just by himself. But if anyone can do it, it's Tribal Chief. So I can't put it past him,
Yeah, a lot of people are thinking that like him and Cody are going to team up. It doesn't really seem like that. Like when he returned at SummerSlam, it didn't really seem like he was there to help Cody. It was more of him stopping Solo from trying to be the Tribal Chief. And I was wondering, like, Roman wasn't really there to take the belt. And I think that, Roman and The Rock are friends, and The Rock and Cody have been planning to have this big match. And if Solo took the belt from Cody, then that would kind of like ruin all their plans. So I'm wondering if the final boss, The Rock, told Roman to go in and stop him, and that's why.
That's very possible. Yeah, we haven't heard from either of them since WrestleMania, but we do know that They teamed up at WrestleMania, and everyone else in the WWE has kind of found their own path since then with, Jey Uso and all of that. So I think those two could definitely be in cahoots. And I do agree that I don't think Roman is going to team up with Cody. That just doesn't make a lot of sense. I think he's just more mad at Solo and the Bloodline right now than he is at Cody, but I can't see him teaming up with Cody in any way at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I know Cody has his own beef with Solo, but that's a battle that I think Roman wants to face on his own.
I'm still interested in knowing where Roman has been all this time that he's been gone. I know it's probably because the security is so bad and it doesn't want to risk being there, but I don't think he's worried about getting beat up or anything. But
I mean,
we know The Rock's been gone because he's filming all these weird movies.
He's hiding from the Undertaker, filming weird, silly movies instead of actually getting in the ring. Whatever, he needed a break after WrestleMania. I don't blame him, but yeah, usually when a wrestler takes off for this long, they at least have some sort of like injury or something happens. But Roman just kind of lost the belt and disappeared for a little while. So I don't know. He looks all healthy from what I can tell. So not too worried about him in the ring. But yeah, we did miss him in SmackDown. Definitely missed him because you can just see, since he's been back, it's been a different show, different energy over there on Friday nights.
Yeah, I felt like the whole episode we knew that Roman was going to show up at the end, and then he did. So, I mean, I wasn't really focusing on anything else the whole episode. That's all I really, paid attention to.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that to happen.
Yeah. And now they're bringing, they brought Randy Orton over to Raw. Now he's just randomly beefing with the guys over on Raw, which is good because, that main, Roman's kind of taking over SmackDown, and Gunther needs someone new to fight because, freaking Drew McIntyre and all them are too busy doing whatever they're doing. But of course, Drew McIntyre gets involved with that beef too. But it'll be exciting to see Roman versus Gunther again because I know the first time they fought, the ref kind of messed that up pretty badly. So I'm hoping to get a real fight in.
Yeah, but I mean, if Randy gets a rematch because the ref messed it up, I feel like Seth Rollins should be getting a rematch too for the world heavyweight, because that one was a lot more blatant of a mess up by the ref, and everyone just forgot about it. I guess, I don't know. It's kind of weird. If I were Seth Rollins, I'd be pissed.
That is crazy too, because the deal was, right, if he lost the fight, he wouldn't be able to challenge for the title again. But technically, he should have won the fight. So
yeah,
I feel like he at least deserves to have another shot at the belt. And of course, Drew McIntyre shows up in that fight again and messes everything up. So yeah, I think that's only fair if Randy Orton gets to just show up on a different show and challenge for the belt because of the ref. I feel like Seth Rollins is a pretty fair argument there if he wants it.
I do think it's interesting how fast Drew McIntyre ran away when CM Punk showed up, because I mean, he knows that he probably couldn't have beat CM Punk if it was a normal match without Seth Rollins trying to get in the way, just kind of how he got in the way of the Cody versus Roman beef. Now he's trying to get in the way of the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre beef. I mean, he doesn't when there's nobody who wants to challenge him, he kind of just finds a way to get himself involved in stuff that has nothing to do with them, which is kind of weird. So I'm glad that Big Bronson Reed showed him who's boss, and we probably won't be seeing him for a while.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I'm glad that happened because Seth Rollins is kind of in a weird spot right now where he's trying to pick fights with everyone, but no one really cares about him. So he was kind of just doing whatever. And Bronson Reed was all right, dude, enough is enough, and kind of destroyed him. And then it happened again last night, unfortunately, if you want to get into that match. The Miz is a joke.
Oh, no.
I'm pissed off at The Miz for more reasons than one, but if R-Truth is forced to miss time because of this, like, I'm pissed. I'm pissed about what happened last night. Can be even more pissed when we can't see R-Truth on Monday nights.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty. I mean, everyone knows that I'm already pretty mad about the security, but I mean, this was just like the final straw for me. R-Truth is one of the best fighters in the world, and when your security can't even protect them, that's just a shame. And I was there that night when Big Bronson Reed tried to pull off this shenanigans the first time. And let me tell you, like, there were so many security guards at this freaking arena. And when this happened, only like 5 of them ran into the ring. The rest of them were still standing all around the ring, not even looking at what was happening. So I'm thinking, what the hell is going on here? But I mean, at the end of the day, I think the security is more trying to protect the fans from wrestlers. Because, like, if a wrestler gets injured, then yeah, that looks really bad on everyone, and it's obviously really bad for the wrestler. But at the end of the day, they're getting paid to be out there, and they know the risks of being out there. If a fan gets injured, on the other hand, that's really bad, and that's where they could get into a potential lawsuit, and fans are not going to want to come to the events if they're at risk of getting beat up. So, like, being there in person kind of made me realize why the security aren't really trying to protect the fighters that well. I think it's mainly to protect the actual fans there.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. There definitely needs to be some security protecting the fans, as we've seen. Like last night, Braun Breaker just absolutely tossed Sami Zayn into the crowd. So, I definitely agree that there has to be some security there. But at the end of the day, like, these fighters are putting each other at risk too. And like, if something goes wrong, like it did back-to-back weeks, you got to have some sort of competent staff who can step in there and stop Bronson Reed. Like, I know he's a big dude, but there was like 8 of them, like, kind of just like huddled around R-Truth and huddled around Seth Rollins, and neither times they really did anything. Like, he could have kept going for the entire 3 hours of Raw if he wanted to, and like no one would have actually stopped him. So I don't know if this is on like Triple H for not hiring a better security team, or on these security guys for just like manning up a little bit. But either way, it's not a good look. And now back-to-back weeks we've had guys getting hurt because the security team doesn't step up.
Yeah, I mean, these security guards are probably not getting paid that much. Like, if I'm getting paid minimum wage to do security, I'm not going to try to stop Big Bronson Reed. I mean, that's just asking for like at least a couple months in the hospital. Like,
yeah,
for even a WWE fighter to go against Bronson Reed, like, that's a big risk for a security guard who's getting paid minimum wage. Like, they're not going to want to do that. So it makes sense, but I think they either need to pay the security more, or I don't know. That's not my job to figure this out. That's the thing. Like, the fans shouldn't be the ones telling Triple H and Adam Pearce what to do. And it just kind of shows how lazy they've become, just going on Twitter and doing whatever the fans say.
Yeah, well, I've seen old pictures, and like Braun Breaker used to be a WWE security guy, and I know he wouldn't be afraid to put his body on the line to protect another fighter. That dude's a beast. So they need to find some more. I mean, Braun Breaker's a dog, so it's not always easy to find those out there. But yeah, you gotta. Sometimes it's quality over quantity. You got 8 security guards in the ring doing a whole lot of nothing. Just get 1 or 2 competent guys out there, pay them a little extra money, and maybe R-Truth is fighting next week. But I also blame the Miz a little bit here. He was all pissed off when he got that match, when like R-Truth week after week has been trying to help the Miz out. Miz was mad that he didn't get to fight Braun Breaker, which also would have been an absolute disaster. Bronson Reed's not a whole lot better, but either way, he's complaining the whole time. People are feeling bad for him, and then he gets splashed on once, and R-Truth goes in there to save him. Miz rolls out of the ring, and we don't see him again. And R-Truth took, I don't even know how many, like, straight to the chest. So like your boy's in there trying to help you out. At least get in there and drag him out of the ring after he sacrifices himself for you, after he found this match for you to begin with. So just bad from the Miz all around. And it might be time that this dude retires. I'm not going to lie. Like he doesn't really bring a whole lot to the show anymore. And he's mean to people at golf tournaments.
Yeah, I don't really get Miz's whole issue right now. And yeah, I mean, he shouldn't even I don't get the whole episode. They were just like hyping up the Miz like he's some big superstar. They're like, oh, you're the Miz. You like won all these championships back like 10, 20 years ago. So you should still be able to do like whatever you want. Like, oh, in that case, then Triple H should be out there fighting as well. But he's smarter than that. Like, I don't get this. Like, all of a sudden, everyone's acting like Miz is like the greatest wrestler ever. And you could tell it kind of just went straight to his head. And because of that, the people that he was friends with, well, I don't know if he would even consider R-Truth his friend, because he's always I'm sorry, Mom, he's always a dick to him. And it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. No, the Miz, I think the Miz is kind of the equivalent of like the Dallas Cowboys. You know, they win something years ago and that's all anyone talks about. But now when you see him play or you see him in the ring, it's kind of like, whoa, like this is ugly. And we might want to get this guy out of the ring before he hurts someone or get someone else hurt like he did with R-Truth. But in both cases, you know, everyone's always hyping him up. Like, oh, remember how good they once were. And, you know, you can't just live in the past, you know, especially when there's guys like Bronson Reed out there. They don't care if you were the WWE champion 10 years ago. So
exactly. I mean, I couldn't have said that better myself. Anyways, we didn't cover this last week, but we finally saw the Hackers make their in-ring appearance. And I happened to be there in person. And let me tell you, I like these last couple of weeks, I've been talking crap about the Hackers and stuff. But when I was there in person, I was on the floor sitting across from, I was basically like behind Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, like staring across. So when they were all entering, they were looking directly at me from across the ring. And let me tell you, like, when you're there in person, they're very, very menacing. They're very like big. Like, you don't realize this when you're looking on TV, especially the rabbit dude with the big red beard. I mean, that dude is huge in real life. And I mean, these guys are scary. But another thing about that is you could tell the security the whole night were a little freaked out about them. And I think that also might have been one of the reasons why Big Bronson Reed was able to do what he did, because the security were so distracted about these Hackers. They didn't really have their head in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. You know, these Hackers have been terrorizing them for weeks, and we've been talking about it for weeks. And I know a lot of the professionals in the WWE watch our shows, so I'm sure the security team has gotten their ASSs chewed out a little bit for, you know, letting these Hackers just run wild week after week. And now they have a scheduled match in the main event. So yeah, if I'm a security guard, I'm pretty worried about that. But I mean, to your point, those Hackers are large and they're scary, and they put on a really good fight. It was they were pretty dominant out there. The dude that sat in the chair was a little bit freaky too. I'm not sure what he was doing. He was just kind of like sitting there staring. I'm sure you were kind of like facing him the whole time.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed. Like, about pretty much when the match was almost over, I was like, "Where's Uncle Howdy?" Like, I forgot about him kind of. And then I see like his head, like just his head coming up above the ring, like staring right at me, and it was really creepy. And I didn't even I rewatched it later on TV, but I didn't realize there was that weird girl sitting in front of him because I couldn't see her from where I was. But yeah, I mean, they were pretty freaky in real life, I'll have to say.
Yeah, and it seems like I've never really seen any of them before, but they had some good like 3-man moves. Like, they were pulling off some crazy tag team moves. So I think they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with moving forward. I'm glad that Adam Pearce finally like let them have a real match instead of having them like come out and attack people all the time. But yeah, they're pretty scary, and I don't. If I'm Chad Gable, I'm staying away from those guys.
Well, yeah, no. Oh, that's kind of what he's been doing. He went all the way to Paris for the Olympics, which
That's right.
I'm surprised they would let him in France or like any of these freaking countries. But apparently, he got into France, and he's doing recruiting for the Olympics. Which, unlike Triple H, he's actually recruiting wrestlers. So I think that is one good thing that Chad Gable is doing right. Actually trying to recruit wrestlers for a pro wrestling company, unlike Triple H trying to recruit track and field runners.
Yeah, I don't really understand that move a whole lot. Because you have a guy like Braun Breaker who's probably faster than this track and field runner anyways, and he's 250 pounds. So I don't think speed's going to do you a whole lot of good. You're going to have to get in there and throw some punches. So I don't know if I get that Chad Gable is a former Olympian, but I don't know if he would have been my first pick to send to another country to try to recruit people to come to the US. He is very American and he has been a former Olympian, but man, we've seen how he acts with some of those foreign countries, and I'm surprised. I don't even know if he's made it back yet. I haven't really heard from him other than that video that he had of him walking through France, but
let's be real. I don't think he was there to recruit anyone. I think he was just trying to get as far as possible from these hackers.
Yeah, that is a fair bet. And yeah, I mean, we've seen him as a coach of Alpha Academy, and he's not the best there either. The Creed brothers are doing pretty well for themselves, but I don't know if Chad Gable can really take any credit for that.
No, I mean, the Creed brothers were already great before Gable. Like, just because, I mean, I don't blame the Creed brothers for wanting Chad Gable to like join them because they're new and he has like a lot of experience in WWE that like he can teach them. But like as like skill and strength wise, I mean, they already have it.
Yeah.
So that's definitely not because of Chad Gable. But I mean, even just like a couple months ago, the Creed brothers, way before they even started aligning with Chad Gable, they took on the entire Judgment Day by themselves, like 2-on-4. Which, I mean, that was really impressive. So, I mean, the Creed brothers I don't think people realize how good these guys are. Like, they haven't really won a match in a while, but they're really good. And I think people are about to see them do some crazy stuff. Yeah.
Well, it was tough to have them fight those hackers. Like that would be the last group I would want to have to fight. But yeah, put them up against New Day or the Final Testament or one of these other groups who just fight each other every week. And I know Kofi's all excited because they got Mark Henry's son on their team,
Jones.
Which is pretty insane. Like that would be the one guy I would try to recruit to my team if I had a choice. So
yeah, I mean that dude is cute. That's another dude I got to see in real life. I mean that guy was like, I hadn't even seen anyone that big before, and I used to play online.
Yeah, no, that dude he's a beast. And they had another. I don't even remember who he fought last night, but it was another like Cale Dixon type match where some random dude who's not even on the roster showed up and got his like ass beat pretty bad.
I guess he's got to prove himself before he fights someone, but I mean, come on, let's make it a challenge. Like, I almost didn't even watch that match, even though I was excited to see him. Like, it just felt like a waste of time. Like, we knew he was going to win as soon as we saw this other dude, Cale Dixon's brother or something. I don't know. Yep. That was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know about that. And then of course Karrion Kross shows up. I hope Odyssey Jones just like crushes Karrion Kross once and for all, because this dude pisses me off week after week. I'm done with him.
Well, I think we're gonna see a 3-on-3 match next week or something like that. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Well, the other guys in what is it? What is their name? Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
Like they have two other big dudes who are kind of beasts, but Karrion Kross for some reason thinks he's a leader just because he beats up like Xavier Woods every week. And then there's the old dude and the chick who don't do anything. So they have a group of 5, and it'll be exciting to see at least 3 of them in the ring next week. But I don't know, kind of a joke to have a group that big and only half of them actually do anything.
Yeah, I don't know who that old guy is or what he does. Like, I really don't get his purpose. I would like to know a little bit more about him if you're going to put him on TV every week. I mean, Scarlett, I don't have a problem with her, but mainly, I don't know. I don't really know what the hell is going on with Final Testament.
Yeah. Like that old dude could be like an interesting character. He looks kind of cool. Like I see him, I'm like, oh, he's got like the shades on and like the leather jacket and stuff, and then he just stands there, and it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, whatever. That'll be a fun match, though. Hopefully, Odyssey Jones, as I said, crushes Karrion Kross, but they've got 2 other big guys on that team, and it didn't seem like Xavier Woods was as excited as Kofi was about Odyssey Jones showing up, because I think at least what Karrion Kross was saying was that he was kind of the Big E replacement, but like if a dude gets hurt, like I think he broke his back, right? Like you can't wait forever for Big E to come back. I mean, we miss him too, but at some point,
yeah,
if an Odyssey Jones shows up, you gotta take that dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Big E would support it too, and I think Big E is still pretty involved in WWE, so I'm sure he would. If they're missing them that much, he could maybe be like a manager or something for them. But I don't know, with the way WWE security is right now, if I have any kind of injury, I'm gonna stay the hell away from the ring.
Away.
Like yeah. Even as a fan, getting that close to the ring a couple of weeks ago, I was pretty nervous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does put it into perspective when you're actually there. Like that's a tough job being a security guard for sure. So I'll give him props, but when now R-Truth is going to be out for a couple of weeks, we're disappointed that security couldn't do a little bit more to protect one of our favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, I wonder how R-Truth is going to feel about the Miz. Like I'm sure he'll come back, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, the Miz definitely like left him out to dry there, and we've been saying for weeks the Miz isn't the best partner, and maybe now R-Truth will have some time to sit down and really think about what he wants to do next. But also Cody, like, not really doing anything, just randomly challenged Kevin Owens, I guess, for a fight. Like that made no sense. So let's maybe have R-Truth fight Cody Rhodes. That would be a better fight.
Kevin Owens didn't even want to fight Cody Rhodes. He's like, oh, like I don't really deserve it. Like, like I know that Kevin Owens is a fighter who's getting paid no matter what, but if you're going to be in a main event match, you got to at least pretend like you want to be there if you want people to watch it. Like me watching this as a fan, like I don't want to watch 2 guys who are best friends who don't even want to fight each other do it just because Cody feels like he owes Kevin a favor. Like that's not something I really care to watch. So let's not make it a main event. Let's not, I'm sure Judgment Day could put on a way more entertaining and better match than that. Like you don't need the WWE title to like be entertaining. Like Cody thinks that just because he has the title, he'll put on a match and everyone will go watch. Like it takes more than that.
It's silly. Like 25 Cent last week was way more excited about being in the Royal Rumble than Kevin Owens is about having a championship match against Cody. But there's also no real reason for, like, if you're friends with someone and like they've been friends for weeks, it's kind of weird to just be like, hey, like I owe you one. So he like, here, come fight me. Like that doesn't really make sense. And no one's going to care about that match. But
isn't that what Cody was so mad at Roman for The Rock wanting to fight for Roman wanting to fight The Rock because they're best friends. Now he's doing it.
Yeah, he did the exact same thing. He's all pissed off. Well,
oh my God, what a hypocrite!
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. He was totally. That's like the exact same thing. Whatever, Cody. I mean, I'm sure it'll still be a decent match, but like when there's no stakes or like no reason for these dudes to have any beef, like it's not the same.
I mean, if I'm Kevin Owens going into this, he's not even sure if he deserves to even be in the fight. Like, it's a fight, like especially a WWE fight. Like, you have to like give it your all if you want to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just go in there and half-ass it. So, like, I don't know. If you're not going to give it your all, like, don't do it.
Yeah. And this might be one of the biggest matches he's been in technically, because I haven't watched him his whole career, but this is for like the WWE Championship, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a pretty big match, and he could make it a big deal if he wants to. But yeah, I don't know. Both him and Sami Zayn right now kind of seem like not super interested in what's been going on.
I know Sami Zayn's a little more interested in doing comedy than doing WWE, and Braun Breaker kind of took advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean that definitely showed last night. Like, Sami did get the first pin. I think he got a little lucky with his luva kick, but like in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Braun Breaker, like you gotta really want it if you're gonna win that match. And I knew that there was no way he was gonna pin Braun Breaker twice. And even like before the match, like he wasn't even that hyped about it. Like Jey Uso had to like show up and like get them all riled up. And then they panned to Braun Breaker and he's like barking and going crazy. And I was like, oh, this is over. Like not even going to be a close match.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Sami Zayn, but when you're a professional athlete or an athlete in general, like you have to give that, like it's a full-time job. You have to give it your full attention. Like Brock Purdy isn't going to be planning a comedy show the night before the Super Bowl. He's going to be locked in studying the playbook, making sure he's going in there as prepared as he can be, getting like a good night's sleep, not doing a freaking like AGT in front of like a random crowd in Canada. Like, come on now.
Yeah, even when we played football at Pomona, like there's no way we could like start doing stand-up comedy shows during the middle of the season. And like, you're a professional athlete, Sami Zayn. Like, what are we doing here? I don't know how Triple H is just okay with this. Like, you're one of the biggest stars on Raw. You just had the Intercontinental Championship, and now you're like taking nights
Triple
off.
H wants to do whatever gets him money. So people are going to pay money to go to that show. Triple H is going to support it. As soon as people stop buying tickets for his comedy show, that's not going to be happening anymore. And then Sami's going to be like, "Oh, I want to fight again."
Yeah, well, he hasn't won a match in a while, so something's got to give, and it hopefully it's his stand-up comedy career, because I haven't watched any of it, but I would like to bet that he's a better wrestler and makes more money wrestling than doing stand-up comedy. So,
well, I don't know. There's dudes like R-Truth who are a lot more funny than Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever laughed at a Sami Zayn joke before, so I'm wondering, like, why is Sami Zayn a dude doing a comedy show? Like, I don't know. If you're already a really good fighter, maybe you should just stick to that. I don't know. I haven't seen his show. Maybe it's really good. It didn't get canceled after the first one you did, so they brought it back for another. It must be all right. Well, I don't know. Those Canadian crowds are a little weird, though. So,
yeah, I don't know about that. Well, a guy who actually is funny is Dirty Dom. I saw a little bit of him on the Logan Paul podcast today. He's funny, but I know he's not spending his spare time doing stand-up comedy. Like, I get it. If you want to spend one day a week doing a podcast like that, that's probably acceptable, but it's a little bit different than doing stand-up comedy. And Dirty Dom got a lot more going on inside the ring and all around the WWE universe. So
Dirty Dom actually last year fought in the most amount of matches out of any fighter in the WWE besides Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes is the champ. Like, whether you like him or not, that dude worked his ASS off to get to where he is. And I mean, Dom is right behind there. And look at where he is right now. He's got like 2 girlfriends and a wife, and like he's part of like the best group in WWE right now. Now that the bloodline is kind of all over the place, so good for him.
Yeah, he's got it pretty much figured out. Like Liv Morgan's given him chicken nuggets and PS5 and who knows what else right now. I know Mommy's still mad at him, but if he wanted to go back to Mommy, I bet she would take him back in.
Yeah, she seems like she still likes him.
Yeah. The only real problem is that Damian Priest is after him, but Damian Priest is just kind of pissed off at the whole Judgment Day right now, and I don't really blame him. I think he and Finn Balor just need to beef it out in the ring.
Yeah, well, I was doing some scouting online for any potential fighters that Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest could recruit to their new group, since they're a little outmatched by the other Judgment Day. And I found this guy, and I wanted to get your thoughts on him potentially joining the Judgment Day. So let's play the clip.
Yeah.
Excuse me, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Is there a song that keeps a memory of love alive forever?
Yes.
What is it?
Cupid's Arrow by Quincy K.O.
Cupid's Arrow by Quincy K.O.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right, you too.
She's in my arms and she don't wanna let go.
I do think he's got the look down for Judgment Day. I don't know if he thinks he's in the Judgment Day right now or exactly what's going on there, why he's walking around the streets wearing that in the middle of the night, but he wouldn't have to change his attire very much to be in the Judgment Day. I'm not gonna lie. And
yeah,
did he have I couldn't even tell what he was carrying. He had a lot of jewelry and stuff going on, but so does Damian Priest. You know,
I think it might have been a kendo stick.
Yeah, he might have had a kendo stick, but you know, he did. If he reminded me of one person in the WWE right now, it is Damian Priest. So if I'm Damian, that is definitely someone I would look into recruiting for sure.
Yeah, I second that. I mean, I was doing some like scouting on potential new recruits, kind of like what Hoopify does, and I figured this guy, maybe I'll make a Hoopify style video to kind of try to hype him up. But yeah, I think if I was Damian Priest or if I was Mommy, I would definitely be at least messaging him to like learn more. Yeah,
Andy's already got his entrance music figured out. Sounds like, or he had some. I didn't really understand what the song was about, but he has a song. So he basically he's got a kendo stick in a song. So that's really all you need to be a star in the WWE. So
yeah. Well, I'm excited to see where Judgment Day goes. If you had to pick one like part, like the Judgment Day is kind of split in half right now, which side are you siding with?
If I'm a wrestler, I think it's tough because, you know, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley are great fighters. You know, in terms of power, I would choose them, but I think in terms of chicken nuggets and PlayStation 5, I might have to go with Liv Morgan and gang. You know, it seems like they've got it pretty good outside of the ring, and they've got the numbers inside the ring. But they do seem to kind of run away a lot whenever Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest show up. I think I'm probably faster than Carlito, so I would just have to outrun him and I'd be okay. But yeah, I think for overall lifestyle, I would be with Dirty Dom and company.
I agree. I think that Damien and Mommy are definitely better fighters, probably, but when it comes to like the numbers and like especially numbers of years in the WWE, like Carlito has all that experience, and then Dom, he's Rey Mysterio's son. Whether you like Rey Mysterio or not, he's got legendary blood. He's kind of could maybe start his own kind of version of the bloodline.
Yeah.
And
no
then,
doubt.
you know, Liv Morgan, a lot of people may mistake her as kind of like a dumb blonde, but you've shown how she was able to outsmart Mommy and Damian Priest. And I mean, Carlito was able to outsmart the LWO. So, I mean, these guys all seem like kind of idiots when you look at them at first, but they're actually really smart. And those are usually the smartest people, are the ones that look dumb. And
they get overlooked.
And Finn Balor, I mean, he's been a beast in the WWE for a while, and he also is able to turn into a demon. A lot of people might have forgot about that, but he's one of the only people in the WWE who can become a demon. So I think that's another good attribute.
Yeah, no, that definitely helps with the team for sure. When you have one member who can sometimes turn it into a demon, you know, he always has that up his sleeve. And at the same time, you know, Liv Morgan did beat Rhea Ripley. Dirty Dom helped her like a little bit, but not even that much. So, you know, Rhea Ripley still got a hurt shoulder, and as of right now, it doesn't seem like they're really doing a whole lot of recruiting. I don't even think that they have seen that video that you just pulled up, you know. So if they did one dive on Instagram Reels, they could find some potential replacements, but you know, doesn't seem like they're really putting in the work right now. So
all right, well, you think we're good to go into this week's high flying flavors?
Yeah, this is, I think I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
All right, well, let's get into this episode. Hello, I'm DJ Big Unknown, and welcome back to this week's High Flying Flavors. This is a segment of the show where I review a new snack or drink or any kind of food, really, anything from the culinary world. I'm going to review it, give you my thoughts, and we're going to rank it on a scale, or not a scale, but I'm going to rank it on a chart of everything that I've had in the past. So this is only the second episode. So the first episode, I reviewed this, and I thought it was really good, but that doesn't matter because this week I'm reviewing the UFC 300 Prime, and I'm going to tell you if I think it's better or worse than the WWE Prime. So, all right, well, I don't even think I should be opening this because I only have one bottle of this, and this is a super rare Prime. The only place that you can buy it is at UFC 300, which already happened. So I probably shouldn't even be opening this, but I'm doing this for the viewers of Chokeslam Radio. So let's get into this. I'm going to open the cap. Ooh. I'm smelling it right now. It kind of gives like a lemonade. It smells like lemonade. All right, so I'm going in for a taste. Yeah, I mean, it tastes like a little bit like the lemon lime flavored Prime, but like a little bit less. I'm actually surprised. Like this flavor did not taste as good as the other Prime flavors, so I can see why they only sold it at one event. So unlike the WWE Prime, which is the best flavored Prime I've ever had. So I'm definitely going to put this one under the WWE Prime. So
what would you score it? 1 to 10?
Well, it wasn't my favorite prime. It still is a prime, so I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would keep that bottle though, because I think those are, as you said, those are pretty rare. I don't even know if you guys can find these in stores anymore. So maybe we'll sign
even
it
though it just lost like
sell it.
90% of its value, I'm still gonna hold on to the bottle. And I think that was worth it for reviewing on the show. But if you have one of these, don't drink it. If you want to drink a prime, save this or sell it and drink any other flavor, because it's probably the worst flavor prime I've had. But speaking of prime, I also got the new Glowberry prime. This one's exclusive. It's already sold out.
Wow.
But it actually glows in the dark.
Where did you find it?
I bought it. It was on sale on the Prime website for like an hour before it sold out, and I was one of the people who bought it. So I got a bunch of these, and I already tried it, so I already drank a bunch of them. So I'm not going to review it for high flying flavors. High flying flavors is only for things I've never had before, so you get my initial reaction. But I had a situation on Sunday morning where I needed to get some rapid hydration, so I drank a ton of these. I was going to save them for the show, but we'll have to just review something else.
That's fine. Yeah. When you need rapid hydration, we know there's no better drink than Prime, and I'm glad you saved the UFC one for the show. But there will be more high flying flavors in the future episodes, so stay tuned for whatever DJ Big Unknown is able to find.
All right. Well, while we're on the topic of Prime, I have a video that I'd like to show that I found.
Okay.
So, are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's see if I can find it. I don't even know. Here we go.
Having Prime in the center of the ring.
I think Prime shouldn't be on our mat.
As long as it's not slippery when I step on it, I don't give a crap.
It's just a logo. It's a logo in the ring. You don't mind? No, I actually drink Prime.
I don't think we deserve to be following on a bottle.
I think it's disrespecting the squared circle.
Very, very much.
But you've had your run-in with Logan Paul.
I've had
You're putting that aside?
Just because Logan Paul is like Prime's face does not mean I can't like the product. I separate
I don't know if I could
product with people's faces.
And he was going at your balls at one point. And you're still going to drink his drink?
He was going after everything. I brought him into WWE. The reason Logan Paul is here is because of me.
He paid for it. Let him have it. I don't care. But if I twist an ankle, I'm going to sue Logan Paul. I'm going to sue Prime.
Wow. Few different things to unpack there. I mean, we were kind of ripping on Miz earlier on the show, and I'm not going to back down from that. But as we talked about, he's like the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys have been around for a long time, and the Miz has been around for a long time as well. He doesn't win very much, but he's survived all these years, and that's because he drinks Prime. And if a crowd is chanting to me that I've got tiny balls, I might want to drink a Prime to see if it has any benefits down there, because it very well might.
I think it might actually. I mean, we might have to do a scientific test, but
yeah, we'll look into it, and we might have a new segment next week on the show. TBD at this point, but there's no scientific studies that say that it doesn't help with people who are suffering from small balls.
Yeah, and I know a lot of WWE fighters, it's like a rumor that they do steroids, but maybe it's just because I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, to be honest, but I'm thinking like, just in case someone did do steroids, I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think any of the WWE fighters do steroids, but if they did, I think Prime would counteract the negative effects of steroids, so it would make it healthy to still take steroids.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if you need steroids if you're drinking Prime. It's probably one or the other, but with one, it's known that steroids tend to make your lower area a little bit smaller. But we've seen guys like Randy Orton and The Miz now drink Prime, two of the longest and greatest fighters in the WWE, and I don't think they're taking steroids and doing Prime. I think it's got to be one or the other, and I think it's pretty clear what the winner is, both for performance in the ring and performance everywhere else also.
I agree. Well, after watching this video, I can kind of see why Dominic Mysterio has a lot of issues with his father. Because Rey Mysterio, although he's a legend, he kind of seemed a little bit arrogant in this video.
Yeah, no, I agree. I used to be a big fan of Rey Mysterio, but I've grown to like Dirty Dom more over the recent weeks, and now I can kind of see why he calls him a deadbeat dad. He's kind of out of touch a little bit. He doesn't really understand. Times have changed since he entered the WWE, and it was a bit foolish, his comments.
Yeah, I think he got his ass beat by Logan Paul, and now he kind of blames it on Prime, which if I got my ass beat by Logan Paul, I probably wouldn't drink Prime either. I'd probably say it tastes awful.
Yeah, well, I think The Miz handled it better, which I'm surprised I'm saying, but he's gotten beat up by Logan Paul, but now he's like, maybe if I start drinking Prime, I'll be able to perform better in the ring. Whereas Rey Mysterio gets his ASS beat by Logan Paul, and now he's all anti-Prime, and now he even just lost a match to Dirty Dom. Not shocked by that, but maybe if he drank some Prime, he could still beat up his son, Yeah.
And Prime kind of played a big part in this year's SummerSlam. We saw Cody Rhodes drinking it. We saw a lot of guys drinking it.
Yeah.
And, they're not going to take a break in the middle of a fight that they've been training months for to drink Prime, unless it's like every little move that they make in the ring is highly strategized and planned before. So, this isn't just something that they're doing to like show off.
Yeah. They talked about it in the Olympics with some of those sprinters. Like every single step is like planned out, and they've been practicing it. And the WWE is the exact same way, if not more so. I think that's why they're recruiting these sprinters to be in the WWE, because they might be people who have what it takes to be successful, because every single step has to be planned out in those sprinting races. But to your point, you're not gonna waste energy or time or anything in the ring to drink Prime if you don't know for sure that it's gonna help you.
Yeah. I'm curious. Do you think that AJ Styles, what he said about suing Prime if he gets injured on the logo on the mat, like the Prime logo on the mat, if he gets injured on it, do you think he's able to sue Logan Paul?
That didn't make any sense to me. I don't think he really understands what a logo on the mat means. Like, I don't understand how you could sprain your ankle on just like something that's drawn or painted onto the mat. Like if it was like an actual Prime bottle that he like stepped on and twisted his ankle, maybe. I know there is the Prime hydration station over in the corner, and those are sometimes used as weapons. But I think that's fair game, and I think anything in the WWE ring is fair game. So I don't know. I don't think that it would be fair to sue Logan for something like that happening.
Yeah, if I'm going for a run wearing Nike shorts and I trip and eat it, I'm not going to sue Nike.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe you could. We'll have to get a lawyer on the show one week and ask him questions like this.
Yeah, we got to write that one down.
That would be a good show.
Joe,
maybe,
my friend Joe is
that's what I was going to say.
We'll have him as a guest. We'll hit him with these questions because, you never, like, laws are very complicated. There's a lot that happens that we don't even know about. So I don't know. I feel like AJ Styles is being a bit foolish, and he's probably still. Did he ever fight Logan? I don't even know. I know he lost to Cody. And we haven't really heard much from him since. And Cody is a Prime athlete, so I get why he would have a little bit of distaste towards Prime.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know if Logan fought AJ yet, but I think that might be coming in the future.
Yeah, I could see that one. Well, I mean, if AJ Styles gets hurt in that match, we'll see if he sues Prime and Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a little silly to me, I think, especially when you're a WWE fighter. Like you can't predict these injuries when they're happening, of course. And sometimes that's what the security team is for, to try to prevent injuries. But as we've seen, I feel like almost every week someone's getting hurt nowadays. And the WWE is not doing a whole lot to prevent it.
No.
So if lawsuits were going to happen, I feel like they would have happened.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I mean, there is a pretty big lawsuit going on with Mr. McMahon, so maybe Prime's involved with that. I don't know. That's not a funny joke. Never mind. Cut that. Anyways, I got a couple more videos to play.
Okay.
Let's see, where even are they? Oh, here. Oh no. Okay.
I believe in Jeff Hardy. He feeds his buzzards every day. I believe in Joe Hendry. Check him out on TNA. Running them out, thoughts in the universe need all my twisting fate as bait to catch the dreams designed to align with me. Religiousness implodes, apocalyptic divide to align with myself.
Yeah, first of all, like what were those birds? Those things were creepy. It was just like 20 seconds of the ugliest bird I've ever seen. And why was he in the jungle?
I don't know.
I have a lot of questions there.
I think he might be hanging out doing whatever Ilya Dragunov is doing.
Yeah, that seems like some weird, like, instead of actually doing normal workouts, you would do, like, live in the jungle with Jeff Hardy and hang out with birds instead. That's probably what Ilya Dragunov has been doing. And, I mean, his little water bottle thing at the end was kind of cool. I would drink out of that. That would get me fired up. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know. Exactly how I feel about that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know what Jeff Hardy has been up to since he's been in the WWE, but I don't know. He seems to be going on quite the adventures in the jungle with like these birds. It kind of seemed like maybe like the birds that you would expect to see around the Undertaker, but
yeah, those were like, I was thinking they had like the Judgment Day, if they need 2 more members, get those 2 birds looked like they would fit right in. I don't really I don't know what type of birds those are at all, but they were creepy looking. Like I wouldn't want to fight against someone who walked out with those birds on his shoulders. So
yeah, I don't really have much to say about that video.
I actually I have a video that I was gonna share. So how do I?
I just click present at the bottom, and then you can like click video file, and then it adds it, or you can share your screen.
I have it in another tab, so I'll do that. we go. Oh, the video.
Oh, I can't hear it.
Yeah, let me refresh it. Let me get this thing off the bottom.
Oh boy! Hey! Hey!
Camera three.
Oh God! I
You're skidding.
I got up, I toughened up, held my head high, roaming around their way. The present day is what I had for showing.
All right, that's enough of that.
Wow. I think he was trying to be Scooby-Doo or something there for a little bit. But yeah, I guess since he is not in the WWE anymore, he's trying to become like a musician or something. But he's got a lot of work to do.
Like this is what Sami Zayn needs to do. He's got to pick either one or the other. Like he can either stay in the WWE and fight, or he can be like the Hardys, but you can't do both at the same time. So I'm glad that he has found passion since leaving the WWE. And he is pretty talented at like Scooby-Doo sounds. So
yeah,
maybe he's got a
maybe
future
he
there.
could be a voice actor in the next Scooby-Doo movie or something.
Yeah, I would hire him.
The Rock has been a voice actor in Moana, so maybe Jeff Hardy can be Scooby-Doo.
Well, I know the WWE has done a couple of those Surf's Up movies, so maybe we'll do like a Scooby-Doo crossover and have Jeff Hardy in there.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I would love to see how Scooby and the gang react to meeting the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jeff Hardy, I think he's been doing whatever Ilya Dragunov is on, or he's just jumped off the ladder. It's too many times. I don't know. But I'm not going to judge him. It seems like he's having fun. He's going on a lot of cool adventures, and he is Jeff Hardy. He's a badass, so I have nothing bad to say about him.
I mean, when you do all that you did in WWE, you can kind of do whatever you want once you retire, and it seems like he's happy. He's got his birds, and he's just living out in the wilderness, which is awesome when you're retired, but not when you're someone like Ilya Dragunov and you need to start winning some matches. So
yeah,
I mean, different people at different point in their lives can act differently. So I'm happy for him. Seems like he's doing well.
Yeah, I agree. Let me see. I think I have one more video. Let me open it. Okay, here we go.
It's the WWE's, bro. When I got RKO, bro, you ever got the wind knocked out of you? Like the feeling where you're like, oh. So when I got RKO, I went boom, like, and I was literally knocked out for a good 2 to 3, 4 minutes. But I woke up though, but it genuinely hurts. I had to go to the hospital, I had to get checked out. Nothing serious. The kick it's real. It's real. That's all I have to say.
I mean, this is stuff we already knew, but it's interesting to hear it from someone who's actually been RKO'd.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because we've known that it's real, and like most real fans know that WWE is real, but it's sad that Speed has to come out and say that it's real for people to finally believe that the WWE is real. But yeah, I mean, as we saw in one of our previous videos, Speed still has nightmares about Randy Orton, and you don't have nightmares about something that's fake. Like that hurt him physically, obviously, and I think it's probably still affecting him mentally. So yeah, as we've talked about, I don't want to be on the receiving end of an RKO, and I respect Speed for doing it.
Yeah, if you have any friends or know anyone who thinks WWE is fake, tell them to just watch one fight. And even if they don't think that's real, they could be like, oh, they faked it's like the camera angle. It's like a camera trick. And it's like, they're performing in a stadium full of people. You think they would go there and watch something that's like a blatantly fake. So like,
Yeah.
if that doesn't work, take them to go see WWE or even AEW or some other like independent wrestling, because I mean it's all the same
Micromania.
thing. I mean, yeah, Micromania. I mean, you heard it last week from 25 Cent. Like, there are little kids actually like running out and getting kicked in the head. I mean, that's not something that you fake. Like, that's a serious matter. I mean, I was just there last Monday and I saw Seth Rollins get destroyed. Like, that couldn't have been faked. And I was there in person. It's not CGI. It's not one of these Avengers movies. This is real life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even on Raw last night, we saw the genuine fear in Drew McIntyre's face when CM Punk showed up, and then we saw him get whipped with a belt, and Drew McIntyre posted the aftermath on his Twitter. Of course, he ran to Twitter. It's the first thing he does after anything happens, but clearly can't fake that. And then who was bleeding at WrestleMania? Someone was bleeding, or not at SummerSlam, weren't they?
At SummerSlam?
Maybe not SummerSlam.
I know that Julius Creed was bleeding a lot last night.
Yeah, he was. He was leaking a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, out of his hand. It didn't look too bad. It was just his hand, but still.
Gunther was bleeding. He had like blood all over his chest. He kept getting the chops from Damian Priest, and he was all bloody. So.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you saw what everyone saw. Pretty much everyone online saw what The Rock did to Cody Rhodes before WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was just a bloody mess. Like, it's probably the reason why WWE has to go to Netflix now. I think it worked out for the best because, I mean, it'll be cool to see it less like censored, but it is a shame for the networks that, The Rock had to come in and ruin it and beat Cody to a pulp on live TV.
Yeah. I mean, it was bound to happen. Too much censorship nowadays. We needed something to change. So I'm glad that it's moving the way that it is. It'll be fun to see what happens in January when Raw switches over.
Yeah. Speaking of that, in the interview today that came out with Logan Paul and Dominic Mysterio, which first of all is completely unfair when guys like us are trying to do a podcast and then you have two of the best wrestlers in the world doing their own podcast. Like, how are we supposed to compete with that? But anyways, Dominic Mysterio said that he thinks when WWE goes to Netflix, they're going to get away with a lot more like violence and weapons and blood. And he said even sex and nudity.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that too. And I saw that he kind of said you can't have that every single show, because that kind of ruins it. And at the end of the day, we are still there to see like the fighters in the ring, but it is exciting to have that potential, so when crazy stuff happens, like we don't have to censor it out. USA is pretty annoying about that. Like they even censor out the crowd when they're doing some chants and stuff like that. So it'll be good for sure for the WWE because some of those clips from the Attitude Era back in the day are pretty wild, and definitely adds some character to all the people out there. So it'll be good.
I mean, WWE is going to do whatever gets them the most sponsors and money. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, The Rock is in charge of WWE pretty much. So he's still going to do whatever he wants. He's been doing that. Even though they're not even on Netflix yet, he doesn't care.
Yeah, you saw him at WrestleMania. He was like cussing at everyone. I guess you probably couldn't hear it that well because you were actually there. But he was like swearing at the ref, just like going crazy. And when that's the guy that runs the WWE, he doesn't give an F.
Yeah. And another dude in charge of WWE, Triple H. I mean, we all know what Triple H can be like. So with him in charge and them going to Netflix, I'm a little bit worried that there could be a lot of it might turn into something like South Park, where a lot of controversy arises.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the WWE has a bit of a controversial past at times, and hopefully Triple H can find a happy medium, because some other powerful figures in the WWE in the past who are no longer around may have taken it too far, and I don't think a lot of those things would fly today.
I agree, especially with what some people did to Hornswoggle on live TV, like throwing him around in a steel cage. I don't think that would fly nowadays, but stuff like that. I don't even like to talk about that on the show.
Especially, after having such a great guest on our show last week, we don't want to even bring more attention to that than we need to.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's really all I have to talk about this week.
I had one more video. I don't even really remember what it was. I know.
Okay.
I know the Wise Man has been out for a while, and we don't really know when he's coming back. And I thought both Solo and Roman might be looking for a new Wise Man to kind of help them out in this feud.
Okay.
So I found this video of potentially. Hold on, let me get it.
I'm excited to see this.
Potentially a new Wise Man that I thought could be good for.
You ghosted me. You said you loved me. Those lovely promises were fake or what? Na 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 na. Love bomber, baby. You took my.
I'll just say that's not really what I expected when you think of like a Wise Man. But yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know if that guy has what it takes to be the Wise Man, because the Wise Man has a background. He's not just some like old man who like just follows him around like this other dude on Final Testament. Like, Wise Man used to be part of like ECW and actually ran ECW, which is like, if you don't know about it, I wouldn't recommend looking it up because it's not something you really want in your search history. But let me just say, like, I don't think that guy has what it takes to replace the Wise Man. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, the Wise Man is definitely, one of a kind. You can't replace him for sure, but sometimes you just need someone in your corner to give you a little extra motivational, extra flair, and you never know in what way, shape, or form that comes. So I think Solo and company should be open to any possibilities, but I do agree that might not be he might not quite be on the same standard as where the Wise Man was a couple of weeks ago.
But I mean, it is hard to tell based off of a TikTok. I don't like to judge a book by its cover, so I could see him maybe, at least helping out.
Yeah, the passion.
Maybe Roman could reach out to him.
Yeah, the passion is definitely there, and at this point, it's pretty tough for Solo to find anyone else to back the bloodline right now. So, you gotta take what you can get at this point. So we'll see what happens there. I hope the real Wise Man comes back soon, though.
I agree. I think that if they are looking for a Wise Man, though, somebody who I think is probably one of the wisest men in our country is Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think that he could possibly be. He's not a replacement for Paul Heyman, but more like a substitute. I think that he could potentially be a great member, a great addition to the bloodline.
Yeah, that is he is wise. He's one of the wisest people I think I know. So if you're looking for someone to fill the title of wise man, that would be one of the first people I reach out to. And yeah, I don't really know what he's up to nowadays, so he could definitely be.
I think he's got beef with one of the old like Avengers actors or something. I don't think he's really got much going on. So if I was Solo, I'd definitely reach out.
I like that. That's good.
I'm trying to think of. I don't know if there's any men I know who are wiser. But if you're listening, tweet at us or leave us in the comments who you think a great wise man would be. And Jay says hi. Hi, Jay. Jay, let us know if you know who can replace Paul Heyman as the wise man. But yeah, I would go with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, that is that's an excellent pick. Trying to think if I know any particularly wise men.
I know he's a little busy right now, but Kyle Shanahan.
I was thinking Brandon Ayuk might be. You could hire him as a wise man because apparently the 49ers aren't paying him enough money. So, you know, if you can slip him a couple extra bucks, it seems like he's willing to go to the friggin' Pittsburgh Steelers. I'd much rather go to the bloodline than the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, you know, hit up Brandon Ayuk and his agent at this point, because if you're not playing for the Niners, I would probably go to the bloodline over any other NFL team at this point.
Same. The Niners are kind of like the bloodline of the NFL right now. And in fact, the Niners are Roman Reigns' favorite team. So I don't know why you would want to go to any other team, especially even if it was for less money. But I mean, if I had to choose between the Niners, any other NFL team, and the bloodline, it would probably be Niners or bloodline.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think it's a pretty close 1-2 there, and then the other NFL teams are pretty far down there. I don't care if they're offering me an extra couple $1 million to go play with on the Patriots or something like that. Like I don't think you could pay me any amount of money to go over there. But yeah, like Niners and bloodline right now. Yeah. Yeah,
AEW is known for paying a lot of money.
True.
Maybe they could get Ayuk.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk could be going to AEW. It's all about the money for him right now, and that might be where you get the best deal, Brandon. I'm sorry. So, Brandon Ayuk to AEW, maybe. We're gonna keep you guys updated because we always have the breaking news on our show. So we will see if that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get you the most up-to-date news. We've reached out to Cale Dixon. We still haven't heard an update on him. So
we're gonna start reaching out we're gonna reach out to family members, and also we're gonna have to do some research to figure out which location that Raw was being held in, so we can reach out to the surrounding hospitals and see if he's still in the hospital, if he's been discharged, or if he died. So at this point,
I hope if he was dead, they aren't covering it up. That would be pretty bad.
No, yeah,
I don't think they would do that, but
I would hope
definitely
not.
Should look into it.
Yeah, that would be bad. Before we go to Netflix, we can't have deaths happening on Raw just before they switch over to Netflix. So we hope this all gets sorted out.
Yeah.
And you guys will be the first to know as soon as we know.
Yep. Do you have any predictions for who is going to win between Gunther and Randy Orton at Bash at Berlin?
I mean, I had Randy Orton last time in that match, and I think as I've said, Randy's a legend. I'm never gonna root against him, but I don't know. Gunther's looked pretty unstoppable recently, and I don't know. He was talking some smack last night, and then it was a pretty silly move to tell Randy Orton that what did he say? He said something about how he's never unpredictable, or he never has any surprises.
Unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like you're gonna get hit with an RKO right here, and it happened. That was the dumbest move I've ever heard from Gunther.
I think Gunther's probably one of the best guys in WWE right now, but if he can't even beat Sami Zayn, he has no business going against Randy Orton. I think unless he learned his lesson with Sami Zayn, which it doesn't seem like he has with all the crap he's talking to the Viper. I think it's gonna be a short title reign for Gunther. I'm predicting Randy Orton is gonna get the W.
Yeah, and I don't think Gunther would have won that match against Damian Priest if it wasn't for Finn Balor screwing it up for him. He was basically pinned, and Finn Balor put his leg on the rope. And Gunther's got, what's his weird friend's name? Ludwig.
Yeah, Ludwig Kaiser.
Not too worried about Ludwig Kaiser at this point. So I think Randy's got a rematch, and he's, not going to lose the same guy twice. Hopefully we get a real ref this time. Yeah.
Hello, end of mobster area. Yes. Or end of mobster era. Yes. We were talking about WWE, but this is a show about all of sports, especially combat sports. So if you got any questions for us, let us know.
Yep.
Anyways, I don't know. Oh, also, probably shouldn't even bring this up, but these women matches on Raw, I don't know what's going on. For some reason, they don't have Liv Morgan or Mommy fighting anyone. They're just out there to cause drama and not fight anyone. And then all these other female fighters, they haven't had the beatbox girls on in a couple of weeks. They were the only other female wrestlers who were entertaining to watch. I'm not the biggest fan of Becky Lynch, but you can tell ever since Becky Lynch left, the whole women's division has been crap.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. These are the most boring matches.
Every week we have to watch freaking Io Sky against those three big lesbian girls.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that anymore. At least Brock Purdy was entertaining when she fights. I like watching her, Lyra Valkyria. But she hasn't been the same since Nia Jax sat on her. But yeah, and then I saw Selena Vega was beefing with Liv Morgan all over Twitter today, but she hasn't really fought since she had that weird arm injury either, and I don't even know where Rey Mysterio and the rest of LWO is. So yeah, it's been a junk show. You're right that ever since Becky Lynch left, she's not the greatest fighter, but she at least put on decent matches and people knew who she was and cared about her. And she was actually fighting for the belt. So yeah.
Yeah. I think did Liv Morgan even have any matches since she's won the title? Besides the one match against Mommy at SummerSlam, has she had any matches at all since she's won
She just had the one with Dirty Dom against Rey Mysterio and Selena Vega.
Yeah, but that wasn't for her. That wasn't a title defense.
That was just a random match.
Yeah, I mean, ever since she's got this title, I love Liv Morgan, but ever since she got the title, she's just trying to cause drama with everyone instead of actually doing her job and defending the title.
Yeah. Well, she's got everything she wants right now. She's got basically the whole Judgment Day, and she's got the belt, so kind of makes sense for her to just run away. But you're the champion. So at some point you got to prove why you're the champion.
Yeah, I always wondered like what would happen if a superstar who was a champion just decided not to accept any matches. Like, at what point is Adam Pearce going to step in and do his job?
Yeah, probably never. Doesn't really seem like that's what he does. He kind of just makes people schedule their own matches. So it seems like if you just kind of hang out, like he's not going to do anything about it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, hopefully, I don't know if like Rhea Ripley's going to get another rematch right away or what the deal is, but it seems like those two are kind of separated from like all the other girls in the division.
Yeah, because they're not fighting anyone. They just come out there and talk on the mic, and I don't know. It's weird. But what else? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys who like aren't getting matches that I guess haven't been scheduled or something. Like, for example, like Dragon Lee is one of my favorite fighters. I haven't even seen him for like months. Like, what's happened with him? Like, I don't know who else. Shinsuke Nakamura, he's like another really good fighter. I haven't seen him in forever. Like, why aren't these guys getting opportunities? Why is it Ilya Dragunov every week? Why is it Sami Zayn every week? I don't get it.
Yeah, Sami Zayn needs a break. It seems like he's not even into it anymore. Let him go do his comedy for a few weeks and let's get someone else in there. But yeah, he's like Dragon Lee was supposed to be in one of the WrestleMania matches, and I don't even really know what happened to him. Like I think who was it? Andrade replaced him, who's also cool. But yeah.
I like Andrade.
He's SmackDown though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I'm one of these other guys and not getting these opportunities, go over to SmackDown. I know it's only a 2-hour show, but like the only person that anyone really cares about over there right now is Roman and the Bloodline and Cody, like a little bit. But
yeah,
all the other matches over there are kind of snoozers. So
I think Nick Aldis is doing he's doing a good job at like getting more guys opportunities over there though, because like we've had guys like Apollo Crews and like what's his name, Baron Corbin. Like I didn't even know who these dudes were, but they were like they've been really good lately. I've been impressed by them. And I mean they had that tag team, what did they call it? The tag team gauntlet a couple weeks ago. That was cool. That was really fun to watch. I mean, of course, the Bloodline won it, especially like they probably would have won it if they started, but especially when you put the Bloodline as the last entry, like they're gonna win it. But
but it was good because like 3 other tag teams got a chance to like fight for it and show that they could do well. So that's a good way to like have different tag teams fight each other instead of having friggin' New Day and Authors of Pain do whatever they do every week on Raw.
But yeah, SmackDown's kind of hard to watch right now because it's either really good or really bad. Like it's either you got Roman Reigns out there kicking ass or you got freaking DIY versus Pretty Deadly, probably the worst match. Like that's the worst match I've seen in WWE. I'm sorry. Like you could not have picked the worst match.
People were like all pissed off that DIY lost. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like these guys suck. The only reason you guys like them is because there's no one better on SmackDown. But like, what a horrible match that is. Like, geez.
Yeah. Especially since like Randy Orton has gone from SmackDown. Cody Rhodes, who's supposed to be carrying the show, is just getting his best friend to, come out there and talk about how great he is and say, "Oh, I want to fight you now." I don't know. That show's a junk show. It's a good thing Roman Reigns is back.
Yeah, he's saving it. 25 Cent had a theory that Sami Zayn and Jey Uso were going to go over to SmackDown, or maybe he was saying
that was me. That's what I was saying. He didn't think so, but I think that's what's going to
Roman was
happen.
going to come to Raw, but yeah.
Well, like Jey Uso is probably the most popular guy on Monday Night Raw right now, like besides Dirty Dom. And Jey Uso hasn't been on Monday Night Raw in the last 2 weeks. So like, why is he not? That's like the last 2 weeks of Raw have been great, but why hasn't Jey Uso been doing anything? Like, he didn't even have a match at SummerSlam. So like, it's not like he needs a break. Like,
I know.
Like I was really excited to see Jey Uso when I went to Monday Night Raw last week, and it was a great show, but I wanted to yeet really bad, and I didn't get to yeet. And I was standing right behind Pat McAfee. It would have been cool to see him up on the table yeeting.
That's one of the reasons people go to Raw.
Yeah, I mean, when I was there, probably like a good third of the crowd was wearing Jey Uso gear. Like, that's how popular he is right now. Everyone was there to see him. And like, he was there because they had him on the screen talking to Sami Zayn. Like, he was backstage, but they could have had him come out at like a commercial break or something if he wasn't fighting. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know they do those matches like before and after, and I saw some of those that you were recording, but I guess he didn't come out for any of those either.
Yeah, I got to see Butch versus he doesn't like to be called Butch anymore, apparently. He's like really sensitive about it.
Whatever. Weirdo. Pete Dunne.
That guy versus Tozawa, which was a pretty good match. I think Pete Dunne won. And then I saw the girl who hangs out with the Creed brothers. What's her name? I forgot. Well, I like her. She's cool.
No.
Yeah. Pitbull. No, that's a rapper. What's her name? I know her name. I just can't think of it right now.
Is she the one that came out and betrayed Maxine Dupree last night?
Yeah. Well, she's cool. She should be more in more of these matches. She's not been in any matches on the show lately. Like, people like her a lot more than freaking Io Sky and whatever that group is, and the freaking like pure energy collective or whatever they were called.
What a dumb show. God, horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see why Triple H is trying to recruit random track runners if they're girls. Like, at this point, anybody would be better than freaking Damage Control.
The absolute worst. Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I think that they should recruit. I don't know. Like, if you were Triple H, where would you go to first to recruit female wrestlers?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the WNBA is something we've talked about a little bit, but that's at least kind of like getting to be a bigger sport. So if I'm someone like Caitlin Clark right now, I don't know if I'm leaving the WNBA. The Olympics is a great pick, hard to go wrong. And when we know the WWE, whenever they send like a live event abroad, they'll just schedule like every single person who's from that country, even if they don't deserve a match. So like freaking Piper Niven gets a match whenever they're in Scotland. So yeah, if I'm like an Olympian from another country, like WWE has got to be top of my list for places to go right now. You got 4 years until the next Olympics.
I know wrestling is an event in Olympics, but I was watching judo, like mixed judo. So it was teams of men and women on each team. And some of the like women, what do they call them? Like, I don't know. There's something that they call people who do jujitsu. It's like cool. No, not jujitsu. It's judo. I don't know. But a lot of these like female judo fighters looked like they could be serious. Like they could put give Nia Jax a run for her money. So
yeah,
that's where I would look. And then I would also go to the island of Samoa and just kind of see if there's any female members of the bloodline there, because I'm sure there's a ton, and they're probably all badass killers. So
yeah,
but I would like, from some of the guys I've seen in the bloodline, like Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, I would definitely want to bring a lot of security if I was going to Samoa, because you don't know who you're gonna run into. And I mean, all those guys seem like dangerous. Like, I mean, I don't want to sound like racist here, but like they seem like they could beat you up if they wanted to, which is good. It's a good thing, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're strong and they're physical and they're large human beings. You know, like Jacob Fatu is a scary person, and I think the bloodline could use a few women members. I just don't know if they would prefer to be with Roman or with Solo. You know,
I think Nia Jax is technically part of the bloodline, because I remember when The Rock showed the family tree, Nia Jax was on there, and then I also saw Naomi was on there. So I don't know. I think we talked about this already, but
yeah, we've discussed this a little bit, but
but we know that there's a lot left. Like that tree is kind of like, if you've seen like those YouTube videos of the guys who break down the icebergs, like that bloodline family tree is like the top of the iceberg,
and it's still like huge. Yeah,
because like Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, like they weren't even on that thing that The Rock showed. I think Jacob Fatu was. But I don't know. Speaking of Jacob Fatu, like how badly injured do you think he is? Like when is he going to be back? And
I don't know.
Did they give Tonga Loa the belt like to replace him? Because he was holding it.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, it didn't look great. His leg, like as soon as he landed on Cody on that table, he like grabbed.
You could tell he was in a lot of pain.
Yeah. But he's a beast, so I'm sure as soon as he can get back out there, he will be. But yeah, I don't think the bloodline's quite the same without him. Like Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga are good, but he's a beast.
Yeah, I'd rather fight an injured Jacob Fatu than a healthy Ilya Dragunov, even if he drank Prime.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't even be a fair fight.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Jacob Fatu is drinking a lot of Prime right now, and he's going to be ready as soon as possible.
I would hope so. Yeah. I don't know, because I don't know if the bloodline has their own version of Prime or what they drink over there, but the Samoan Islands have been producing beasts since before Prime was around. So maybe it's probably the coconut water, honestly, in there. They probably drink a lot of coconuts over there. So, yeah.
I think, do they have any like sucralose farms there? Maybe.
Probably.
I don't know. Yep. We'll have to look in how do you make sucralose? Because that would be cool to make some like homemade sucralose.
And mix it with make some homemade Prime. It'll be on one of our future segments where you try things.
I like that. Or we can even make that like its own documentary or something and submit it to Peacock for the collection. Anyways, I don't know. That's all I got this week. Oh, we've been going like almost 2 hours. Dang.
Yeah, that's crazy. We've been on a roll, but there has been a lot to talk about. Yeah, no, I got nothing else for this week. We have a sports analyst coming on the show next week, I believe.
From ESPN.
Yeah, ESPN analyst on the show next week, which is big.
And then we have another, he's one of the most well-known WWE reviewers online. He has kind of like a sort of a blog about WWE on TikTok. So he's going to be joining us soon. And, we're always getting more guests lined up Like we said, we're gonna have a lawyer on, asking him about that, asking him about the McMahon case. And I also want to get like an expert on like drugs to evaluate what Ilya Dragunov and maybe Jeff Hardy could be going through.
Yeah, I don't know any pharmacists, but I could probably find someone who does drugs near my apartment. So I'll look into both of those and I'll see what I can find.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Yeah, and be sure if you ever want to be a guest on the show. I was thinking we should also start doing shows like back when we get to consistent viewers. I don't know what happened to getting 30 viewers an episode, but once we get viewers again, we can have viewers join in on our. Did you know this? We can have viewers join in on StreamYard.
Really?
And
like
we can like control when they come on, and they can ask us questions and join the show if they want. Cool. Yeah, like we can send out a link. So that would be But yeah, anybody you want to shout out this week?
Shout out Post Malone. I saw him at Outside Lands. He sang some country songs.
From WWE 2K, right?
Yeah, the WWE fighter actually came to Outside Lands. That was exciting. I didn't know he like made music also, but he's in the WWE game, and also he was in that movie with Conor McGregor. So he's got a lot of fighting. Yeah, he's got a lot of fighting experience, except he didn't want to fight Jake Gyllenhaal. But shout out Post Malone for branching out into the music industry from the WWE and the fighting industry.
Oh my! I almost forgot. There's something actually pretty crazy I forgot to mention. So I don't know. Do we have time, or should I wait till next week?
Up to you. I mean, I have nowhere to be, but if you want to,
let's do it. So when I was at the show, basically the damage control match started, and I had to pee, but my phone was dead because I was pretty much filming nonstop for the first like hour and a half of the show, and my phone just died like not even halfway into the show. So what I did was, I wanted to go use the bathroom, and I was sitting on like the floor level, so I was worried that if I went to the bathroom, my ticket was on my phone, so I was worried if I went to the bathroom and I came back, I wouldn't be able to get back to my seat. So I got up, and at this point I had a couple beverages as well. And I just saw a dude walking around with the suit on. So I went up to him and asked him about it. And he's like, I was like, if I leave, my phone died. If I leave, if I come back, then will I be able to get back in? And he's like, I'm not the guy you want to talk to about that. Go talk to like the people who work for the stadium. So I was like, okay. I didn't, and I just went up to them. I didn't think about it for the rest of the night, like who that guy was. I just kind of was like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know who that guy was. Turns out I was talking to this old guy who had been watching WWE for like forever. This was after the show was over. And we were basically, once the show's over, they like pack everything up like really fast. So since I was sitting on the floor, I actually like went up to like ringside and like watched how they packed up for a little bit, and was like talking to people about the show and stuff. And this guy like points out, he's like, "Oh, you see that guy in the suit over there?" And he was like out there like working around. I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That's the WWE head of security." And I was like, "Oh,
no way."
So apparently that's the guy I was talking to, the guy who's head of security. So if I had known that, I would have let him know, like asked him like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
yeah,
you should, like, when are you going to start doing your job? But it's pretty crazy that I actually talked to this dude, and I think he might have recognized me, and that's why he kind of like was like, don't talk to me, ask something else.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but also, like, of course, he's just walking around the arena instead of paying attention to the show. I get that, like, an EO Sky match probably isn't the most important. Like, if one of those fighters gets hurt, you're not gonna lose sleep over it. But like
Mm.
if you're the head of security, you should be locked in, especially on Monday Night Raw with the hacker match coming up. So maybe that's why he brushed you off so quick, because he was like getting ready for that, probably pretty stressed out. But yeah, that's crazy that you randomly ran into the head of security.
I know. I really wish I knew. Well, I'm gonna be going to SmackDown in a couple weeks later this month, so maybe I'll see him again. I don't know if he just does Raw or both shows, but I'll keep an eye out for him. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does both shows, because both shows security sucks.
Yeah, SmackDown's been like, at least SmackDown doesn't have hackers, but SmackDown security also is subpar. But maybe they need a separate guy for both shows. Like, why do we have separate managers for each shows, but only one security guy when the security team is clearly struggling? But I get that they just don't want to pay anyone. So tough situation. But yeah, if you see him at SmackDown now, you know who he is. And I would, you got to hit him with the questions, because I know he watches our show and he's been ducking us. So
yeah, he's probably doing everything he can to get, like, because there have been a couple people who like falsely reported my TikToks, and it's specifically the ones about security. So I'm thinking maybe it's this dude. I don't know, but
yeah,
there were a couple of my videos that got taken off the algorithm. So that basically makes it so nobody watches it. And it's because they got false reported. But whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if it was that guy.
Well, we're going to call you out if you're not doing your job, and he's not. So we're not going to stop. Maybe he just needs a little bit of encouragement. Maybe
I feel guilty now, though. Like, for our truth, like if I had maybe like gone to him and said something, maybe our truth wouldn't be so horribly injured right now.
Well, yeah, but you didn't know at the time, but if you had,
but even then I could have, like, when the guy pointed him out later, I know he was back in the arena, but that was when the show was over. Like, I could have yelled at him or something.
Yeah. Could have been like, man, like with the hackers all these weeks, and now Bronson Reed, like if you don't change something soon, you're gonna get fired. And then maybe he would have done a little extra this Monday Night Raw, and the same exact thing wouldn't have happened again. I wonder if he was even out there. I don't know if you looked on Monday night this past week when the same exact thing was happening, like if the head of security was out there trying to do anything, or if he's still just hiding behind the scenes.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really watching for him, but yeah. Another thing that I'm a little bit mad about is that Adam Pearce won't add me back on LinkedIn. I wanted to make a connection with him on LinkedIn, but because I figured he would have known me for the show, but he didn't connect with me on LinkedIn, so maybe he's just busy. But I hope he's busy booking matches, because he really hasn't been doing a good job at that lately.
Yeah, well, it seems like he's pretty busy waiting for fighters to come up and ask if they can have a match later tonight. So it seems like he's pretty busy doing that. And also he was pretty busy giving a fine to Bronson Reed for an unspecified amount of money, and then letting him in a match the next week where he does the exact same thing. So it seems like Adam Pearce is really doing a lot as the general manager here.
Yeah, that bro's got to quit drinking on the job. He's kind of known for that, and I don't know how much longer Triple H is going to tolerate it. But at this point, maybe Triple H is doing the same thing. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, we don't really see Triple H all that much, but we do know that Adam Pearce, his drinking problem is maybe getting in the way a little bit of his work, and now fighters are getting hurt because of it. Our truth is hurt. So
yeah,
I think this has got to be where you draw the line. Yeah.
Anyways, I think that I covered everything I want to cover now, but who do I want to give out a shout out to? Shout out to Carlito. I think he's been doing a good job lately. You know, he's not really been in the spotlight, but he's been right there. And I think, you know, he lost his match to Damian Priest, but I think he did a pretty good job considering he was just a heavyweight champion. And I think he does a good job, you know, staying healthy, eating apples and stuff. We don't see him drinking a lot of Prime, but in apples, I wouldn't say almost just as good, but like almost just as good.
Yeah, it's better than a lot of other things you could be eating and drinking. Better than Adam Pearce.
Yeah, so shout out to Carlito this week. Stay tuned next week to hear who gets the next shout out. Oh, also shout out to 25 Cent.
Yeah, I saw he actually went live on Instagram while we were doing our podcast tonight. So,
that's a little.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
He's probably a little upset because we haven't posted any clips from him, but we will. We'll post them this week.
Yeah, I did see he did join the live stream briefly from Instagram, so he knows we were streaming.
Good.
So I don't know, but still, I'm not gonna take back I'm gonna keep my shout out for 25 Cent. Hopefully, we don't have to start a streaming war with him. So. We won't stream when you stream if you don't stream when we stream, and let's hope we can do that moving forward.
Yeah, we're buddies with 25 Cent, and we want to see him in the Royal Rumble. So, you know, whatever you got to do, 25, just let us know so we don't get in the way.
Facts. All right. Thank you for watching. Make sure to listen on the podcasting app later if you missed the stream, or watch on YouTube at DRW15 on YouTube. And remember to chokeslam that like button and tombstone the subscribe, and also leave a comment if you don't want the Undertaker to find you. And have a great night.
Thank you for joining us on this bone-chilling journey through the world of WWE. Join us next time on your favorite podcast app, or live Tuesday nights on YouTube, Instagram, and X. As the final bell tolls, remember to stay tuned for more spine-tingling tales from the crypt. Chokeslam that button and subscribe. Check out srotu.org, NTRW15 on YouTube, or else. Until next time, may the power of the dead man be with you.